Mr. Happy Living here, and I'm happy to be broadcasting from WITV7 in the beautiful Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina, USA. Hey friends, please join me for just a minute and imagine how you'd feel living the unique and distinct life you were put on this planet to live. Doing work you love, with people you love, in places you love, and all the while creating something of real value to others. That's what I call a life of significance. And I can tell you, it makes for a very happy life. And so can my friend Martin Davis. He's my guest star today, and he's here to share his unique and distinct journey to his life of significance. Hey, Martin, welcome to the show.
Hey, Matt, I just want to put a thank you for allowing me to be on something significant. And I've been very excited about this. Looking forward to this conversation.
Right on. Well, let us get to know you by just start telling us what you're doing these days to make your mark of significance on the world.
Well, I'm Martin, the professional Hobo Davis, and I have lived in this motorhome full time now for over 4 years. You know, it started out as the worst chapter of my life. I was in a divorce, I was in an addiction, I was in a failed business, but one day at a time, this has become the greatest. And I love living in an RV. I love it. I have a house. I just rent it out and live in this.
Very good. All right, Martin. Let's do a little mathematics so our friends all around the world can get to know you through what we call our happy formula.
Okay.
And I think you know the one. It's simple, but it's super powerful. It's power plus purpose equals happy. So let's start with power. What are your practices for building up your personal power that you need to get things done, whether it's physically or mentally or spiritually or financially or emotionally? In other words, Martin, what do you do on a regular basis to create all the power you need to take really good care of yourself and your loved ones and still have plenty left over so you can be a giver to others?
Well, I start off, I would say that I sit by a fire probably 95 when the weather's permitting, when it's not raining, it doesn't matter the temperature. I sit by a fire every single night, and I reflect on life and reflect on where I'm at in life, and really and where I want to be at in life. What are my true goals? That's to me, sitting by a fire, having that routine is a very spiritual thing. I mean, you're there, and I just really enjoy it, and I'll listen to music. And I started doing that, let's see, about 3 years ago now. And anyhow, at that time in my life, I was just trying to figure out who I was and who I wanted to be. Yeah. And I didn't want to be the old Martin, the one that when I was married. I wanted to become somebody new. And anyhow, I started listening to like Woody Guthrie and North Carolina musician Doc Watson sitting out by a fire. And that's all they sang about was being a hobo. And then I started hashtagging hobo. And, I started I just really loved that kind of life. And then people around me, I would see somebody in the grocery store and they would start talking, man, I love your old hobo life. And I don't now, everywhere I go, I get recognized. I don't do this to get recognized. I do this because I love to. This is my purpose in life. And Matt, another power thing would be is I get text messages from people in nursing homes, people in the hospital, people that are disabled that cannot afford to travel. And that is so uplifting and encouraging to me. Just to know that I'm doing what God has put me on this earth to do, to be a blessing to other people, where some people are so tied up in their lives and acquiring things. I grew up thinking that the more I acquired, the happier I was going to be. Right. And then at one time I had several rental houses. I owned a 15-room house on 27 acres of land. And in my divorce, I sold it. And I live in here, and I have this motorhome, and I have one paid off rent house that I rent out. And that has enabled me to live this whole hobo life I live. And I just absolutely love it.
Yeah, yes, less can be more. So let's explore my favorite power generating concept. It's called a Kaizen state of mind. Okay. I'd like you to talk about it in context of how you've become a better hobo over the 4 years. So Kaizen it's this beautiful Japanese idea that small incremental improvements add up over time to yield great big results. And I love it, Martin, because it's based on mindset, not circumstance. And
Right.
Kaizen life is knowing there's always something I can do better tomorrow than today. And it creates this optimistic, gentle, but powerful and continuous uplifting of my life day after day. So Martin, how does Kaizen in your life help you increase your personal capacity to continuously become more so you can continuously give more?
Well, I really like this. And, when I started this lifestyle, I paid to live in campgrounds. And, over the course of the last 3 years, and well, actually longer than that, I mean, I've been researching it for years, but there are all kind of free camping opportunities. You can camp anywhere for free as long as you know the rules and you're 100% legal. Trust me, you don't want to be somewhere and get a knock on the door telling at 2 a.m. from the police saying you need to kindly move on. But well, I went out for 11 days back in October, just hit the road. And I started in North Myrtle Beach, went to Southport, then went up to Swansboro. And I only paid for 2 nights camping. And total cost of food and gas was $419. And, I like to live frugally. I do. And I try to live more frugally as the days go by. But now I'm to a point where I really want to head out west and camp on what they call BLM land. I would love to live out there.
Yeah.
And, and you have to learn the laws and do your homework. And once you do, for example, it's like this, when I go to the beach, I don't go per se at night. I don't go to the beach. I usually go to the town before you get to the beach because they want tourist money too. And their laws are so much more lax than like beach towns. Yeah. So, you just learn little things like that, money saving techniques. Yeah. And,
Yep, and that's the idea of Kaizen in life. As you're learning, then you're applying that new learning to your next day, and the days get easier and easier. You get more for less. You have more time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly.
All right, so let's talk about purpose. That's the second element of the happy formula, Martin. And I've observed that major life transformations and discovery of purpose often come from devastation. It could be addiction, abuse, disease, death, disaster. Some awful thing strips a life to its core, and it results in this great big change. However, in my book, Turning Inspiration into Action, I share the transformational process that I've used to discover my purpose using inspiration. So how about you, Martin? Was there a specific moment or event or crisis or inspiration that revealed to you the purpose you were meant to live?
Absolutely. And that happened on April the 30th, 2020. It'd be 3 years here coming up soon at the end of the month. And I was involved in an overdose and a car wreck that I walked away from completely unharmed, Matt. I think about it now. After 3 years, that's all I think about is that car wreck and why God let me live through that. Unhurt. I've known so many people who's died so tragically like that. And and that is my purpose in living now. I have 3 wonderful, beautiful grandchildren now. Mm-hmm. And I think to myself, every time I see them, they would not have known me if I would have gotten killed in that car accident. And
let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. What could you say to our audience that would encourage them to take the big life-changing action? I mean, I'm sure you wish you did before the tragedy. But so what have you learned that you're thinking about every day about not taking life for granted? What have you learned from that devastation that you could share with our audience so they don't have to go through it?
It takes an absolute total change. I had to give up everything I had. I had to, because it just didn't work. It just brought stress onto my life. I used to eat out all the time, and I made a big change then. I started cooking. Now I love to cook, And it takes all kind of small little things like that. I used to get out and run the roads all the time, all hours of the day, all hours of the night. I don't do that anymore. I pretty much stay. I know that's an oxymoron. I live in a motorhome, but I get where I'm going to go, and I don't go out like that. It takes the thing about it is this. That is not a one day thing. That's not just something that can happen. Maybe it can happen to some people in a second, but it did not happen for me like that. It took many, many years, or it took that car accident to make me realize, I'd certainly had the opportunity before, but I had to give up everything I had and everything that I knew and adopt a whole new way of life. Now, change is hard, but change is possible too.
And not changing is hard too.
Yeah, not changing is,
or at least it creates bad results often.
Oh yeah,
it's
not
easier,
changing. I believe you have to replace things. If you have a bad habit in your life, you have to replace it with a good habit. Yeah. And that takes time. That does, and it does. And not changing is the worst thing you can ever do, because you're just going to be status quo for the rest of your life. And it like I said, change comes one day at a time. And it is possible. Now it's hard, but I had to change up and give up everything.
So give us 1 minute on the story. I think I read about going into an Aldi's, a supermarket, and buying a set of silverware, and then setting the proper table for two, even though you were all alone.
Yeah, well, this was right. I guess I don't remember this. I guess this was right after the wreck. I not remember, but I was wanting something new in my life, and I think I was down to just like 1/4. And anyhow, I went into Aldi's, and they had silverware for two, and black. I got it in my camper in there, and anyhow, I bought it, and I was miserable. I was just been involved in that car accident. I was trying to figure out the new Martin, and I came home that night, and I set a proper table, just like my grandmother taught me. And I cooked me a supper, and I sat down there and ate. And I thought, man, this is so much fun. And I hadn't had fun like that in many, many years. And then the next day, I came and I did the same thing. Now I love to set a table, man. I do. I don't always set it for two, but I love to sit down and have a good, hearty, home-cooked meal. And when at that time when I was in wreck, I was taking like 4 different antidepressants. I was about 240 pounds. Now I don't take any kind of medication, and I'm down about 190 now. So I feel fantastic. I really do.
All right. One more thing before we go to break. What is the importance of hanging your clothes on the line when you've washed them?
Well, there again, one thing is energy consumption. I want to try to save energy. And, it brings back such a good childhood memory when I would hang clothes up with my grandmother. And she taught me exactly how to do it. How to put two, take two, how to hook them all in a line. And I love to hang my clothes up now. I got a clothesline that I keep. You can't really see my awning, and I hang it up there. And on Sunday afternoons, do my washing before church, and then hang it up there and let it air dry. I love to do that. I actually have a clothesline inside of my camper, and I hang clothes up in there from time to time when it's wet.
Less and simpler can be more, can it?
Yes, it can, and it is so freeing, Matt.
Yeah,
so
yeah. 100%. Wonderful, Martin. Now let's take a quick break so we can let our sponsors spread a little love with our audience.
Okay.
Mr. Happy Living here. I love good things made by good people. That's why I love Dry Farm wines. They've transformed my drinking experience with sugar-free, lower alcohol, lab-tested natural wine. It's only grown on small family farms with respect for nature and using regenerative agriculture. You can literally taste the difference. It's naturally delicious. And it's super important because the quality of the food we eat and the wine we drink makes up the quality of our life. Go to happyliving.com. Select Partners in Happy and get your first bottle of natural wine for 1 penny. Share the gift of natural wine and pour some love this holiday season. We're back, and this is the Something Significant Show, and I'm your host, Matt Gersberg. And my special guest star today is Martin Davis, a professional hobo and seasoned traveler. He offers travel inspiration and tips and advice and shares his travel stories and experiences and his authentic lifestyle as a professional hobo to encourage others to live the unique and distinct life they are meant to live. Oh, I love that, Martin. And I think you're going to love this article that I found on lifescience.com. It's called The Science Behind the Power of Giving. And it says the act of giving itself can be a gateway to discovering your reason for being on this planet. It tells us how science supports the idea that giving one's time and talents and treasures is a powerful pathway for discovering purpose and overcoming difficulties and finding fulfillment and meaning in life. So, Martin, I updated our formula. Power plus purpose plus giving equals really happy. What do you think, Martin? Has giving your time and talents and treasures been a pathway for discovering your purpose and for getting past difficulties that you've faced and for bringing real meaning into your life?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I give back. I give to people through my pictures and my travel. And people that, like I said, that can't travel or not unable to, they're the one that they, like I said, they DM me all the time telling me how much they like my pictures. And that's the way I give back. And of course, I give any kind of travel advice. And anytime anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And that's the way I give back in my life. Yes, and I really, really enjoy it. I really do. Oh, by the way, this is my silverware that I set every night. Yeah, I bought this at $10 at Aldi's. I had to keep it in this crumpled up paper bag I cut up here. You see? Yeah, look right there. It says, what does that say? Can you see that? It says good silverware.
Good silverware. Here you go.
So there it is. It's for two.
Simple pleasures in life. And
I
so,
keep it, and I break it out on special occasions. Yeah.
That's nice. That's the simple pleasures of life. And so, back to giving, the science tells us that giving to others helps bring real meaning into our lives. And I agree, 100%. I just love that feeling. It comes from our fourth element of significance, which is doing work that creates value for others. Because the magic of life comes not from getting more, but from giving more. But Martin, I've discovered there's something more to it than that. It's not just the giving that's magical. What I've been learning from all my guests and in my own life too, it's when you're giving from living in your purpose, that's where you find the real magic. So tell us how it feels to be happily living your life and giving to others through the work you were put on this planet to do. And the people all around you have taken notice. Martin, sit back, open your heart, and have a listen to what people are saying about the impact you're making on their lives by finding and living that magic in your life.
Well, the only way I can keep what I got is by giving it away. And I think I heard you say that the more you give, the more I give back, the more I'm able to travel, the more pictures I'm able to post, the happier I get, because I see the enjoyment that it brings to others. And I put it like this. I was my youngest granddaughter's would be 4 here at the end of May. And anyhow, I was tucking her in for a nap. I was leaving here just a few weeks ago. And I kind of looked at her and winked and I said, your papa's kind of an old hobo, don't you? She nodded her head yes. And she said, motor home. And so, and my oldest granddaughter, she looked at me one time funny and said, Papa, why do you want to be a hobo for? But yeah, I love giving to people like that, to be able to share these experiences, these adventures that I go on. And this has been one more adventure of the past 4 years. Well, some of it never repeat, but I enjoy posting these. And, I would like to give back more by going out west and maybe go out there and live and work on a ranch or live on BLM land,
Yeah.
or just go out there and get a regular job or whatever. I would love to.
You got to do it, because listen to what people are saying about how you're impacting their life already. The first guy says, Martin Davis is an interesting fellow with a zeal and love for family, food, entertaining, and travel. Another, Martin has been through some tough spots in life, but he possesses an inner grit and determination to keep on swinging no matter what kind of curveballs this old life throws at him. He's got a great disposition when it comes to folks in general. He believes in treating others how he would want to be treated. Martin doesn't know a stranger. We could all learn a lot from Martin about slowing down, taking the trip, eating the food, enjoying the life we've been given. He's a foodie. He's a foodie, loves cast iron campfire cooking, loves his family and grandkids, loves bluegrass music, loves singing and playing his guitar, and of course, he loves to travel. A dedicated family man, he has been his dad's biggest cheering section and supporter since his diagnosis of cancer. He's a history buff. He used to do a lot of farming. He knows a great deal about the different constellations and planets. Martin has a lot of different and interesting skill sets. A man of character, stand-up guy, always good for a laugh, great at keeping a joke going, and he loves sharing stories of his travels. Martin tries to include everybody with pictures and videos of his many adventures. And finally, this guy says, I hope one day Martin gets his own show and it would be interesting and awesome to watch. So Martin, you're clearly making a great big impact on others by finding that magic of giving from living in your purpose. Tell us, how does all that love make you feel?
That makes me feel very, very humbled. I don't really know what to say about that, other than that is so encouraging. And when people say things like that to me, Matt, that makes me know that I'm doing what God has put me on this earth to do. We all have different jobs. You may be the arm, I may be the leg, but I know now that I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much.
It's a pleasure. And that's what this show is all about. It's finding that magic in each of our lives. It comes from this great big happy circle. It's giving your time and talents and treasures is this powerful pathway for discovering purpose. And then giving from living in your purpose, that God-given reason you're here, brings a profound joy to your life, but also to the lives of those around you too. So giving leads to purpose, and giving from purpose leads to joy. So to more properly reflect the exponential power of our happy formula, Martin, let me tweak it just a bit more. Power times purpose times giving equals happy to the third power, and that's really, truly, deeply happy. Does that sound about right to you?
Absolutely. And happiness can be found inside of you. You just got to do what you love to do and not let anybody, any circumstance, any person hold you back from doing it. Just go for it.
You want to hang up clothes? Hang up clothes. You want to have fine dining? Do your fine dining, right?
Absolutely. You got that 100% right. And you know, the thing about it, Matt, we are on this earth for only a very, very short time.
Yes,
we
sir.
do not know when the end's coming. And I want to live today. I don't want to wait till I retire, Matt. I want to live today.
Yeah, every day. Great stuff. Okay, Martin, let's wrap things up with the lightning round. I love the power of words and the capacity for great quotes to really change lives. So I'm going to read a few of my favorites and have you tell us what they mean to you. Give us the first thing that comes to your mind, Martin, because we call this a lightning round.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. From J.R.R. Tolkien. Not all of those who wander are lost.
Yeah. Go for it. Do it. Take the road less traveled.
Yes, sir. This is from a great chef, Francis Mallman. He says, my life has been a path at the edge of uncertainty. Today, I think we educate kids to be settled in a comfortable chair. You have your job, you have your little car, you have your place to sleep, and the dreams are dead. You don't grow on a secure path.
I would have to say, yeah, you don't know. You don't know. You don't know what the future holds, whether it be sickness, whether it be, you know, an imminent death. Just go for it, man. There again, live the life you want to live.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we live it's uncertainty. Everything's uncertain.
Yeah.
It really is.
This is from Romans chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that all things work together for the good of those who love God and those who are called according to his purpose.
You know, say if you come over here and I was to cook you something over my fire, and you come to me, Matt, and you say, I'm awful hungry, Martin. I'd say, all right, here's you a cup of flour. That wouldn't be too good, would it? And anyhow, and then he's like, well, I'm thirsty. Here's half a cup of buttermilk. And here's a little pinch of salt to go in it. Now, they don't taste good by themselves, but you see, you put all that together, and biscuits sure are good. Sometimes individual things happen that are very bad, that are, whatever, but you put everything together and it all comes together. It really does.
Very good. This is one of my own. It's in the doing of things that are most important to you that you find true happiness.
Do what you need to do. Do what you want to do. If you want to get a motorhome, get a motorhome. If you want to buy a condo, buy whatever it is that makes you happy. You have to find that out and do it. And don't ever let somebody else dictate to you what is the meaning of happy and what is not happy.
Yeah. This is from Hemingway. The world breaks everyone, and afterward, some are strong at the broken place.
I had this horse one time when I was a teenager. He's about the craziest thing in the world. It was a stud quarter horse. And anyhow, I put a saddle on him for the first time. I thought I was a cowboy back then. He jumped about 8 foot in the air when I got on him first time. And I hit the ground. He stomped on me 2 or 3 times. And I was scared to death of that horse after that. I didn't ride him for about 6 months. I'd ride through the field. I'd look and see him and think, I need to get back up on that horse. I finally did. And when I got back up on him, Matt, it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. So if you have fallen down, today is the day to get back up.
Yeah. And finally, this is the show anchor. It's from Goff. And he says, whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now.
Come up with a plan, and a detailed plan of what you want to do, and just do it one step at a time. Don't try to bite off more than you can chew, but just do it.
Very good. And now, folks, it's your chance to be a giver too. If you can hear my voice and you were inspired by today's show with Martin Davis, please share a little love with our marvelous broadcast team by giving what you can to WITV7. They're a 501c3 charity on a mission to educate, empower, and encourage. They do good works with your kindness. Martin, I love how you inspire people how to live and camp in an RV with travel tips and advice from your experience as a seasoned traveler. And I admire your dedication to sharing hope with people who are struggling with addiction, disease, divorce, or some other disaster. And I love your belief that you can trade a bad habit for a good one in order to improve your life. And I'm super happy that you've shared your kind and adventurous spirit on our show today. Will you please take a minute or two and share any parting remarks you'd like to leave with our audience?
Well, I want to say first and foremost, Matt, thank you. I've had a wonderful conversation today. I would say this, whatever circumstance you're in now today, just one step at a time. Like I said, try to change a bad habit for a good habit. If you go out to eat, cook at home. If you cook at home, go out to eat. Just trade it. Don't just stop doing it. And one day it'll happen, one day at a time. That can happen. Reach out to me, reach out to Matt, to anybody for help. There's help out there for everybody. Yeah. And I encourage you to do it. My heart's desire, Matt, is to travel and go out west. Maybe do the Oregon Trail. I know I got a trip coming up next month. I'm going to Damascus, Virginia, and I'm going to go up there to trail days and help the Appalachian Trail hikers.
Oh, that's great.
I'm so excited about that. And I think it's the weekend after Mother's Day. I'm kind of lay low till then. But anyhow, like I said, my goal is I'd love to go out to the West Coast, Northern California, Oregon, Washington State. I'm 47 years old, Matt, and I'm not getting any younger. I'm not. My body's starting to fail and start hip pain and stuff. But I want to live. I'm gonna live today. I'm not gonna wait till X amount, when I get 65 or whatever year, and enjoy your life. If you don't enjoy it, change things so you can enjoy it. And the power's within you. God can help you, other people can help you, but at the end of the day, it's a choice that you have to make. You have to choose this. And man, it's been tough, man. And I still have tough days emotionally. Yeah, I still cried. I tell you something that I do every day. I cry just a little bit every day. And that helps me, helps me stay in tune with myself and others and with God. And don't let bitterness overtake your life. That's a root that'll grab your heart. You have to let it go. Yeah. And speaking of failed businesses and addictions and divorces, sometimes the pain of holding on is a whole lot greater than the pain of letting go. Now it took a long time for me to say that, but I'm glad to say that today. And I'm just so excited about this podcast and what this is going to do for my old hobo life. So I've had a great time.
Very good. So I also wanted to ask how your father's doing with his battle with cancer.
Well, he got diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer 3 years ago this coming August. Wow. He's had a couple of major surgeries. He's had chemo every 2 weeks. He's been a trooper and a half. He's just recently now lost his hair. My dad has always exercised and taken care of his body. So heart-wise, he's completely healthy. But the last round of chemo was very, very difficult on him. And my greatest pleasure is I get to cook. I cook for him. I get to cook for him 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sometimes 7 days a week. And I just absolutely love it. I really do. I love spending my time with him. Thank you for asking me. Please keep him on your prayers.
What's his name?
His name is Eddie Davis. Yeah. I show him his podcast. They'll get really excited about it.
Eddie Davis, we're sending love to you.
Thank you.
All right, very good. WITV7 for hosting and promoting our show so we can keep interviewing inspiring guest stars like Martin and reaching folks just like you, ready to create your own extraordinary lives. And most especially, thank you, viewers and listeners. You'll find links to websites and social media and all things Martin Davis, the professional hobo. Find him, friend him, follow his adventures, and pick up some travel tips, and even listen to him singing around the campfire. It's all on Facebook. Just search for Martin Davis, the professional hobo. That's MartinDavis, the professional hobo. One more time, Martin Davis, the professional hobo. From me to you, dear friends, I love you and I want you to be really, truly, deeply happy too. So go to happyliving.com and take the happy quiz, because when you measure your happy, you'll focus attention on it, and focusing attention on it inspires change and learning and improvement all to flow right into your life. And once you take the quiz, and it really only takes a minute, then please give some thought to what we can do together, you and me, to improve the happy of your world, one person at a time. Till next time, I'm Matt Gersper. You are awesome, and this is the Something Significant Show. And we're out.